Redivining Yourself is a podcast for those ready to reclaim their power, embrace transformation, and consciously create their next chapter. Through honest conversations, soulful insights, and practical wisdom, each episode explores what it means to choose yourself, release limiting beliefs, and navigate life's transitions with courage and grace. Hi, everyone. I'm curious about you. I'm curious about how you are going, as the UK people say, as the Brits say. How you going there? And I'm asking for a reason. I truly want to know. That's one of the reasons. But I'm just really wanting to check in because it seems that everyone I've talked to in the last month is overwhelmed, exhausted, confused, disillusioned, depressed, you name it. It feels like we're having all the feels right now. So genuinely, I'm concerned. I care. I want to know. And I think it's really rare, especially in this format, right? I'm sitting in this room and, speaking into the ethers, into this beautiful microphone. But I think we lose track of, and I say we, but as content creators, I think sometimes we lose track of the idea or the premise that there is another person on the other end of this camera, this microphone, that might be struggling, that might really be feeling lost and very disconnected or wanting to disconnect even more. So today, what I was hoping to do was to do a check-in to start with. This is something that I do regularly with my clients, and it's something that I was hoping to get in the habit of doing with this podcast. And today feels like a good day to start this. So let me explain what a check-in is. The check-in is just taking a moment. It's you taking a moment, me taking a moment to just check in to our inner landscape. If you've heard me speak about the world within the world, we are going to tune out that world outside of ourselves. And my invitation to you is to tune into your world, what's happening within you. And all of that is so that you can better discern what you need, what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, so that you can consciously make a choice as to whether or not you want to do anything about that. So, super easy. If you're walking, cool. Maybe you want to find a little place to sit down. And also, thank you for listening while you're doing your healthy thing out there. If you're driving, you might want to pull over, find a spot, or maybe if you're sitting at a stoplight, you can do this. Just make sure that you're safe. And if you're cleaning, take a 5. Take 5. Take a little break. And get comfortable for a moment. And let's do our check-in. It's easy if you just close your eyes. If you just hit the pause button. If you just breathe. And I'm not even asking you to tend to your breath. I don't want you to fix it. I don't want you to judge it. All I'm asking you to do is notice your breath. Taking a moment to notice where your breath comes into your body and where it leaves your body. It's not a hard thing to do, except I will tell you that with practice, it does get easier. And I'm going to guide you through some of your inner landscape. So you can just listen to my words, follow along, or take your own journey. So maybe take a moment to take possession, re-inhabit your toes and your feet. Maybe you wiggle your toes, or maybe you connect all the way down to your feet, feeling the earth beneath your shoes or your bare feet. Or maybe it's just an awareness of your feet and what they're doing while you're driving your car. One of the most kind and loving things that it feels like we can do for our bodies is to reconnect to our feet. Our feet are on 24/7, trying to keep us safe, telling us where we are in space and time. And yet too often we forget we even have feet and that they are a part of us. Notice what happens when you turn your attention towards your feet. And likewise, maybe you can take a moment to tune into your pelvic bowl. Are there any parts of that pelvic bowl that you are not inhabiting? Maybe it requires a movement or a closer look at some part of you that maybe needs hands placed upon your body. And again, from the body's perspective, it is you tending to all of those parts of yourself, noticing what you are feeling and where you are feeling them. Maybe your hands become drawn to your knees or your thighs, your calves. Maybe it's your body's way of saying welcome home. Where have you been? And lovingly thanking every part of yourself for doing everything that it does every day on your behalf. Your feet that support you, that move you. Your legs that take you from point A to point B. And all the ups and downs in between. Turn your attention towards your hands, your arms. I remember the first time I was invited to just hold my own hand as if it were some extraordinarily different and unusual action that I had never really thought about taking before, not consciously. Maybe it's a simple gesture of holding your arms close to your body. Maybe it's feeling as though you're hugging yourself, or maybe you actually do hug yourself. And notice what happens to your breath when you simply, intentionally re-inhabit those parts of your being that you just have unconsciously been moving about, forgetting about, judging. Check in with your heart. And not just the front of your heart. We tend to think most often of the front of our heart. And in my world, the front of our hearts are the masculine part of our being. We can think of them as outward emanating, giving love, sharing love, taking action to demonstrate our love. And yet we forget about the backside of our hearts. The more feminine aspect of our hearts. The feeling, the sensing, and extending a loving and warm embrace to all of those parts of ourselves that perhaps we are hesitant to even acknowledge. Noticing if you have to go and find your breath or if your breath finds you. Now, this simple devotional act of checking in, of noticing what you are feeling and where you are feeling it, is actually really, really important to me. I think it's a process that we should all become much more familiar with and adept at. Now, just to give you an idea, my eyes are still closed. I'm still very inward facing here, exploring my inner landscape. And so it might be helpful for you to use some of what I am going to share with you about my experience of what I am in right now, that perhaps it helps you become more rehearsed and more familiar with what is happening within you. So I can describe some of the sensations or feelings that I have in my body. And as I do so, maybe you can take note if you're having a similar experience in your being. Because my breath is beginning to feel much more at ease. I'm feeling the richness of taking breaths. I'm finding that I can explore the depths of my breath even more so. And I can feel how it calms my mind, quiets the voices within my head. And it reconnects me to all of my being, whether that's real or imagined. I can feel my breath reaching down to my feet now. So that the experience I'm having of my breath becomes that much deeper and richer, more satisfying. And I was feeling some tightness in my back, my shoulders, between my shoulder blades as I spoke about the front of my heart. And as soon as I welcomed in my posterior heart, the back of my heart, and began to pay attention to her, I began to feel that tension melt away. And through all of that, I've been able to feel gravity. And my relationship to gravitational forces become one that I find very gratifying. Feel more grounded, connected. And all of these things I am naming now are possibilities. They are not prescriptions. They are not antidotes. They are not things that you should also subscribe to. These are simply things that I am aware of now in my body because I am checking in. I'm listening to what it is that my body might need. And in this moment, when I ask my body that question, what do I need in this moment? The answer is nothing. And that may feel challenging for you. All of this may feel very new and very different and hard. And that's also welcome. I understand that your experience may be different from mine because I have been doing this for almost 20 years now. So to me, it comes quite easily. My body knows what to do. So if this feels new to you, welcome. Welcome to a new experience, to a new part of yourselves that you can practice, that you can learn to build a relationship with. The invitation is just that. It is just an invitation for you to go within and to see what version of you has shown up here today. Most of us can't answer that question honestly or fully because we have not bothered to do so. This isn't something that's normal. If you could use that word normal, I think that's a to be defined word. Because really, what is normal? Let's take a deep breath in together and let it go. And in this moment, may we leave the rest of ourselves intact. May we choose to take these moments for ourselves to leave the day behind with gratitude for all that was and all that shall be. When you're ready, opening your eyes. This is an experience that I learned about 20 years ago that was a way for me to connect with whatever version of me showed up that day. And it's important that we understand that a different version of you is going to show up every day, depending on how well you slept and how much water you drank and what you ate the night before and how much sugar did you take in and what are your thoughts? What are you ruminating on? And this particular skill, I think, is so informative. It's akin to getting into your car and knowing where you are in this moment so that you can determine how to get to where you want to go. And it's been a really powerful process and experience for me for the people in my circle that I practice it with. And I think it's a really great way to just reconnect with yourself, a great way to sort of reestablish this equilibrium, restore balance back into our being, because all the while, this is all that our body really desires, is for you to come back into it, for you to be present in here, and remember that your presence is the gift that you give the world. You become so much more present, resilient, adaptable. You increase your capacity for life when you practice this skill, whether it's 1 minute or 25 minutes. Think of it like a muscle that you build over time. To me, it's one of the most valuable skills that, as a spiritual being having a very human experience, if you can afford yourself this opportunity, this experience at least once a day, your life will become so much richer and so much more whole by you just making that commitment to practice it as much as you can. And if it felt a little weird, I get it. I can remember when I first started this with clients, they would say to me, "That was weird." Literally, that was weird. I hope you didn't have a camera on me or you weren't watching me, because I felt really, really odd, sitting here with my eyes closed. And a lot of them peeked. They admitted to it, just seeing what everybody else did. And so, yeah, it feels different and it feels kind of weird and it's something new, but I really encourage you to keep practicing, to keep trying, because that presence that you bring to this moment, to your body, to your experience here in this world, that this particular process, if you will, or this particular experience of you meeting yourself in this moment is one of the most courageous, valuable, resourceful, important things that you can do today. And that's all I really wanted to offer you today, was just an experience of you taking a moment for yourself, taking 20 minutes, whatever it is, 30 minutes, to just check in. However long you had to experience that, to be in it, I'm grateful that you were able to have an experience with it. And even if you can't do it now, if you're driving and you make the decision to come and listen to it later, or if you're in the middle of working, whatever it is, if you're in the middle of Montana and you have to pull over to the rest stop and it breaks that moment for you, whatever it is, I hope that you will come back to it, that you'll try again, that you'll practice again. And above all else, I actually really do want to hear, how did it go for you? What did you discover? What was your biggest takeaway, your biggest insight? And was it something that you discovered that you needed, or that you desired, or that you longed for? That's really valuable information to me. And I cherish every bit of your comments, your feedbacks. And really, honestly, for me, it's not in this egoic way of engaging with you, but it's genuinely, I'm interested in how you're doing right now. because I think we know the world's a bit of a dumpster fire right now. And you're always in my thoughts, especially knowing that you really are a spiritual being having a very human experience. And I'd love to know how that's going for you. Thank you for joining me today, for trying this new part of you on, if it felt really new to you. And maybe you send this to a friend that's struggling today, that feels and seems really discombobulated and disconnected and in their head, and could use a little loving devotion to their body, to their being. And thank you. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay divine.